about a year ago. It was a Sunday afternoon, and at that time I was very bored. I was supposed to do drawing practices, but then the same thing keeps happening over and over again. I find something new from YouTube. I do this practice. I got bored. I found some new practices on YouTube, and then again. And this cycle just keeps coming all the time. And as a result, even though I bought my digital tablet for a long time already, I don't see that much of an improvement in my art skills. My characters looks a bit off for some reasons. The hair is always the most difficult part of the whole illustrations. And that just really makes me upset and depressed. So that afternoon, I was again going through all those YouTube videos on different practices. I came across a 3-hour video by Victor Kloss. He is a Chinese artist who made a 8-week drawing schedules. And in that 3 hours, he went through the overview on the whole 8 weeks, to what's gonna happen, what are you gonna practice about, why you're doing it, and what to focus on. He made a really well-structured and organized way on the whole drawing process and the journey on it, and lay out the important fundamentals on them. I finished his homework, and even though it's 8-week drawing schedules, which in other words, roughly around 2 months, it took me about 4 months to finish it. Oh, it was so long. But I learned so much from it. I learned the importance of having a well-structured drawing schedules so that it could reduce some anxieties from what to draw, what to do now. It gives me a bit of reassurance on the directions I'm going, as well as it inspired me to adjust his practice a little bit and post the video on 5 weeks drawing schedules the previously. So overall, I can summarize my inconsistency into one word, which is uncertainty. I was afraid of me wasting my time on this new practice that I found in YouTube. I was uncertain about whether this is gonna work. I was anxious about it. And because the improvements takes time to develop, so the results are not immediate effect, I don't see the outcome that all those YouTubers promised me on after 2 to 3 days of practice, which made me really easy to give up on what I was doing and find something new, find a new dopamine to stimulate myself and give me a bit of hope and some pat on my back. So if you just bought your drawing tablet and you want to build up the momentum of drawing more consistently, then my advice is that you can start tiny as per the book Atomic Habits. So what I did initially was that I gave myself the goal that as long as I open up Krita, which is the drawing app, as long as I would open it up, that's fine. That's job done for that day. And usually what happened is that when I open it up, I thought that why not just draw a little bit of stuff, which familiarized myself with drawing on this tablet as well as drawing with my computer. And if opening up Krita has become easier, then you can move on to drawing something for fun. So at that time, I found some illustrations that I like. I like different animes, so I draw different anime characters just for fun. No criticism of myself. Do whatever I want. And that this familiarization phase of time with this new tablet took about 2 weeks. And after that, if you start to think about taking this journey more seriously and want to learn the fundamentals of drawing, then you can start to implement the idea of having a training plans for yourself and organized schedules as well. So overall, I think if you want to find out what the core fundamentals are for making the illustrations, we can summarize them into three things: the form capturing, perspectives, as well as colors. So we'll talk through them. So form capturing wise is the ability to draw something when looking at the reference. So it trains your hand-eye coordinations, or you can say that if you have something in your mind, then that'll be mental eyes with hand coordinations, drawing something from your imaginations, right? So what you'll focus on at the start is the accuracies. So being able to draw the things accurately with its size to be 80% to 90% same as the reference that you're looking at. If that has become easier, then you'll progress even more. You'll start to simplify the things that you're drawing into simpler shapes. For example, if drawing a character, let's say, you would simplify and cut the character into head, arms, legs, right? As well as drawing the head, you usually use a circle or a box just to simplify it into an easier thing to draw. Perspective-wise, it will be starting to learn from horizontal lines and vanishing points, understanding what 3D perspectives means. Then going on, you can start learning about boxes. So for boxes wise, unfortunately, I don't have a box, but I just use this earphone case, okay? So for boxes wise, not just drawing this, you can start to find out what a box looks like if it is starting to rotate a little bit. For example, 22.5 degrees, 45, 62.5, and then 90 degrees, as well as seeing the object from above and below. So those are the two different angles that you should learn about, and being able to draw them out, understand the appearance of the boxes in different angles. If that has become a piece of cake for you, then you can start to put in the object into this box and start to formulate a 3D model in your mind about different objects. For example, if I got this cup lid, then what does it look like if I put it above my head about 45 degrees angle upwards and 45-degree angle sideways views? Then with that, you will have a better picture of what the object looks like in a 3D shape, which will allow you to have your own 3D app in your mind instead of making a object in Blender or finding it from a reference and then trying to copy it out. With the progression upwards, you can start to combine form capturing and perspectives. And what you do is that you learn different objects, draw different things, not just characters, but for example, a backpack, a car, a shoes, a jacket, and being able to understand it with the background knowledge of perspectives. This will really help your understanding about drawing. And over time, you'll notice that you don't need the reference that much. And you can start to draw whatever you want on canvas, which is probably the most beautiful thing that I can think of in this art world. Finally, on colors, you start learning about the three values on colors. So that will be hue, saturation, and brightness. So HSB values. What are they? And being able to accurately capture a color. So for example, let's say this color over here, this one, whether you're able to find this color on the color palette, is it a blue-green? Is it a high saturation, low saturation color? How bright this is? So this will allow you to know the color, name the color, and categorize them. Then with that, you can split your learning into two. So on the top, you learn about values. So you reduce the hues and saturations, which leaves the illustration into black and white, and try to copy the illustrations. This will help increase your sensitivity on the brightness, as well as because you don't need to consider what color this is, what the saturation this is. You can give some brain energy into the textures as well as the process of drawing illustrations. The second thing on the bottom is the lights and shadows. So understanding the lights, for example, on the top, different directions of the light and what the shading on the characters on the object is like. And this will help you understand the structure even more, as well as it will make you understand the different light moods or light emotions in the illustrations. So whether this light is like a sunset light, a bit orangey, or if you want the illustration to be a bit cold, a bit gloomy, then blue environmental lights with lower saturations is quite a good option as well. So it will add more taste to the illustrations, you know. And with that too, you combine them together if you have finished learning them, and you can start to copy the illustration as a whole and try to reverse engineer all those illustrations about their rendering techniques, how they hide the colors, the small details on certain areas of the illustrations. Where's the focal point? Where does the artist want you to look at? And some crazy techniques on certain things. So overall, that's the three fundamentals that I think is the most important thing to focus on at the start of learning drawing itself. A small little tip on boosting your consistency is that you can write down your aim or the purpose of this practice at the front page of, or the front layer of the file. So the top layer of it, you write down the aim of it. So for example, foam capturing for this week, I want to capture 5 cartoon characters. I want to learn the different shapes of a cat head, for example. Then when you open up this file during this week while practicing, you keep a track on what you did on that day. It will prevent you from losing the target or the purpose of whole practice and going on to the same situation like me previously as well again. Although it sounds quite simple and straightforward, but do you know what's the hardest part on this consistency topic? I think the most difficult part of this is that you did your practice yesterday, the day before, for 2 weeks, for a month, and you don't see the improvements yet, but you still have to draw today. And that's the most difficult and challenging part of the whole topic on consistency, is to show up every day. And unfortunately, I haven't found any way to tackle it. Apparently, it's the same issue as any other skills that I've been learning until now, including guitar, drawing, gym, going on diets. The compound effect or the exponential improvements just doesn't seem to be there yet. And you just have to keep working all the time and not miss a day. But it's all on you. It really depends on how much you want. I really want to make an illustration that sparks the creativities and the imaginations from other people's minds with my own illustrations. I really want to create a world that just catches people's eyes when they came across my drawing and my paintings. So it really depends on you. How much do you want to be a great artist? And how much are you willing to put in the effort? So what you can do now is that instead of watching those short one practice video, probably watch a longer ones. For example, Mark Brunate have a few on 8 weeks or 1 year practice schedules, or you can go through my 5 week drawing schedules as a reference for your own drawing plans. And good luck, have fun. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.